Good day. I'm Angel from Futech.io, founder and CEO. And at Futech.io, we take the guesswork out of decision making by matching service providers to service seekers in an easy way. Our matchmaking methodology is proven and has generated our service providers nearly $1 million worth of revenue. We have just automated this into the Futech.io platform. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Taha. But before I even get to Taha, our focus is startups and SMEs. And just a little bit about Taha today. Taha is focused on growth marketing for new businesses and existing businesses, focusing on sectors such as healthcare, technology, and gaming, just to name a few. As a marketing profession, he has designed successful marketing strategies for essential SMEs, helping them to achieve revenue goals and new customers. He has assisted a company in gaming in generating nearly $300,000 worth of revenue in 3 to 4 months. His approach is to create a deep brand relationship through a merge of creativity, technology, and human connection. Taha, it's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks, Angel. First of all, I would like to thanks to you to have me here, and it's been an honor for me, like a discussion with you, to be here, like one of my great friend, Angel. So fine, let's go ahead. And I'm very much excited to discuss about the topic we have. So let me tell you a bit about myself. So right now I am in this industry for the digital industry. I'm serving for the last almost 10 years. So in the digital space, serving more than healthcare industry, gaming industry, and the technology industry. So for now, right now, currently I'm working or associated with SIBA Digitals. I'm the business head, global, and a business partner as well. So we are a B2B digital marketing agency, and we are a UK-based agency, and we have a operation and a delivery office in the Pakistan as well. So right now we are most of the customer are UK-based and the US-based as well. So, but right now we are expanding in the African market and the Gulf market as well. But one of my most favorite market is the African market, because there's a lot of potential and the boom when it comes to startup. So yeah. So
Fantastic.
let me just yeah. Thanks, man.
Fantastic.
So when it comes to my company, you know what, Angel? One of the major problem I see me and my colleagues identified in the market, that is business owners or the founders are offering products and services, but they don't even know like how to identify their actual or the potential customers, how to positioning their brand in the existing on the new market, and they don't even know what their customer looks like, what's their buyer persona. They don't even know a little bit about it. So but they just create it or start promoting and advertising their product or services in the market, and then after 3 and 4 months say they will be like a fund or stuff like that. So that's the major problem we identified, and we came up with the solution and the program. That is, you can see the strategic or disruptive brand management. So where we focus basically building the brand from scratch to execution, and take them to the next level to generate revenue and sales as well, definitely, and increase the customer base as well. So we are right now we are serving a lot of customers in the UK, USA, Gulf, and more than that. And we have a very much successful stories from the client side as well. So that is a bit about myself and my company and our big company vision as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And thank you for that thorough introduction. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here today. Now, Taha, just to kick us off, I wanted to understand, can you share with me a little bit more about what the fundamentals of brand management are?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, brand management is one of the part of the marketing, right? So when it comes to when you have a good brand management or branding strategy, so it all helps to perceive the value of the customer, the value of the product line or the brand. Okay, so once we have a good branding strategy, when we have a good brand guide and brand and each and everything from the scratch, so it helps you to control the pricing of the product, one thing, and it also helps to increase the brand equity as well. uh, and how the brand equity builds is depend on and how your brand associate with the companies, with the customer, uh, on the basis on their feedbacks, and how your brand looks like in the market, like how's your brand personality looks like in the market. So it's totally based on the brand image, the brand awareness, customer feedback, and definitely it will turn into branding equity. But if we go, let me explain, or let me explain or narrow down into four parts. So once we talk about the fundamentals of the brand management, it goes on into four elements. That is competitive strategy. You can say the competitive market or competitive strategy, financial accounting. That is the goodwill of the company. Third one is psychology. Psychology means you have to know about the customer psyche and everything. It would be very helpful to study about the customer, their mindset, their likes and dislikes, their needs and wants, and what exactly they are looking for when it comes to product or services. And the last but not the least, that is the consumer engagement. You can say the customer engagement. So how you can engage or gauge the customer performance. It would be you can gauge on the social media platforms, on the digital platform. There are a Q&A websites as well. There are blogs and the review site. So all of these, when you can relate all of these elements, so these are the basic fundamental elements of the brand. You have to follow. You have to go down before starting any kind of product or services.
Fantastic. And tell me, can we just go through those fundamental elements once more?
Yeah,
So you
that
said
one is the competitive advantage of competitive strategy, right? The second one is financial accounting, that you have to control the goodwill of the company, and the third one is psychology, and the fourth one is customer engagement, like how you
fantastic.
measure the customer feedback and everything.
Fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. And taking it even further from there, how do you bring ideas alive through creative design?
That's a very good question. I really love it. So basically, when we talk about any kind of product or services, so definitely there should be a reason behind it. So definitely, when I started any company or I launch any product in the market, so there should be a solid reason. There should be a problem statement, and definitely, and there should be uh, actual or targeted audience for that product and services. So definitely there are many things before launching any product or services in the existing or the new market. So when we talk about the ideas and turn into creatives, so first of all, I we have to identify the our buyer persona, the main thing. Second thing is, what key message do you want to deliver through your brand to your target customer? That is the main important thing, because your brand key message and your brand promise, that is the two main point that you have to follow from start till end, throughout the business. You have to follow these 2 points, because these helps a lot when it comes to design, when it comes to PR, and any kind of promotional stuff. So when we when we talk about the creatives, so we talk about the problems that that our customer are facing, and turn them into solutions. So we make things, we make problem and solutions and convert into designs, so that would be engaged, that would be engaging, that would be helpful to get the attention to the target audience. So that's how things work. That's how I
Okay.
work. That's how we work, and I believe most of the people work like it, because the
Yeah.
design is not something like create a line or everything or put colors and all that. So it should be meaningful, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that that's such a great explanation. I mean, I don't come from a design background. I come from a more marketing background. And obviously, there are fundamentals that in
Yeah,
marketing that are essential to do with the customer and understanding, you know, where there's demographics and certain things around the customer. But I think it all comes to firstly understanding who you and, you know, trying to put a message together for. So
yeah.
it definitely makes sense what you're sharing. And tell me, you know, when you are bringing ideas alive, you know, what tools do you use? What kind of technology tools do you use? I know on our side we use all kinds. You know, we use LinkedIn obviously um, as a tool with its Sales Navigator, and but I would love to understand on the design side. I've known internally for us to use Canva and other things, but respectively, I mean, what other tools or specific tools would you guys use?
So basically, there are a lot of tools in the market, and they all have their competitive advantage. But we are using some of the major and the most common softwares for the design. So there is Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and same goes for the animation and After Effects and everything. So these are the top priority tools for us when it comes to design, and that is totally free. As you know, we all have this softwares in our computer. So the second one is when it comes to like easy to use, like no one like if someone don't know about the design and everything, and they have to design something on a quick, so definitely they go to the Canva have a freemium and the premium package both, so they can design on Canva. And there are many free images, free stock images, free video templates, a brochure, business card. Like you can say, they have all the branding elements, all the branding collaterals they already have in the tools. So anyone can use from there as well as a free or as a newbie or the beginner in the market. So when we talk about the designs, we use Adobe, we use Figma. Figma is the most one of the top, you can say, using software nowadays from the last 2 or 3 years back. So Figma, the second priority is the Figma. First is Adobe, second is Figma.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. You're
Yeah,
sharing quite a wealth of tools that you know can assist SMEs and startups alike, whether they're in whether they're in Africa, whether they're in Europe, and thank you for sharing. Really appreciate it. I mean, and I mean, you know, one thing I also wanted to get into is really understand, you know, branding essentials for startups and SMEs, especially as you're sharing these amazing tools, whether it's free tools or paid tools that startups can utilize straight away for free or even the paid for version. What what I think the first step is understanding what are branding essentials for startups and SMEs.
sure. So whenever someone start or launching any kind of product or services, so there I would basically I split into four parts. The first one is product level, or a service level. It could be anyone, depend on the business owner, right? So product level, there are basically three product levels. One is core, the second one is actual, and the third one is augmental. Core means if I explain in a one line, core means that is the main or basic need fulfillment for the customer. That is the core function of the product. Actual means how it looks like, how it's look and how I mean its physical appearance or something, you can say how it looks and physical or their color theme and everything. And the third thing is augmental. Augmental means like you are giving or offering additional value or value added services or any kind of thing that your competitor are not offering. That would be the value added services or the new, you can say, the new feature or out of the box things. So basically there are the three products label: core, actual, and on the and the third is augmental. Second part is the brand positioning. First is the product level, second is the brand positioning. You have to be very clear about the brand positioning. When it comes to brand positioning, you have to figure out what is your targeted customer, where are they based, how they think, how what are their demographics, what are their income streams, like what range they are follow in the income stream, what are their classes, and what are their needs and wants in the society and the geographical. So we have to cover the geographical things as well, like in the African market, in the Asia market, or whatever you're gonna target. The second part is positioning, and positioning would be based on some things. It could be on the pricing, it could be on the quality or the feature of the product, it could be on the competitor base, it could be on the values or features that you are offering, it could be on the image base, you can say, or uh, most of the companies are endorsing celebrity. You can say the celebrity endorsements. But in the digital era, we follow, we use the influencing marketing. So we all have the influencers in every industry. So we use the influencer market influencers as well. So positioning should be based on the pricing, on the quality of the product, on the feature of the product, on the competitor, on the brand image. So these are the four parts of the positioning. The third one is, you can say, the brand equity or brand image. That is the main point. And when it comes to brand image or brand uh, awareness or kind of things, so you have to be very clear about your brand key message and your brand promise. That is the main point. So there are three essential parts of the branding. The one is product. You have to define. You have to be very clear about your product and their labels. The second one is brand positioning, and the third one is brand key message and again your brand promise that you're gonna deliver to your audience.
Fantastic, fantastic. And is there, would the same be alike for both SMEs and startups, or is it in the earlier stages, is the order still very much the same?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to startup, so what I see and what I identified in the startup industry, in the startup market, they all have, people are people have do have a technical skills, people have like engineering skills or technology or skills, some skills like that, but they lack in the marketing, they lack in the research, they they don't know how to identify their actual customer in the market and identify and how many are potential customers are there. Let me give you an example. Let's suppose I have a phone, I have a Samsung phone, and I need to make a call, right? I need to make a call, I need a phone. I can fulfill my need through Samsung, and I'm a Samsung user. But I like, or I want to buy an iPhone, right? So I might be the potential customer for the Apple as well. So there's a difference: actual customer and the potential customer. So the startup owners or the business owners have to identify their actual and the potential customers in their target market as well. That's the main point they have to figure out when it comes to startup. They have to identify their their buyers, how their customer looks like, their personas. The buyer persona is very important. They have to maintain or they have to design their buyer personas in their demographics and their income stream, their geographical, their likes and dislikes and everything. They have to design a buyer persona card, you can say. Normally we do this type of things, and everyone has to do.
Yes, fantastic. No, that's awesome. I think you know, you know, some of the things that you say, we've had to do is really understand our customer base. Who is the user? Who's the end user? By firstly understanding the customer and how they're going to utilize the product, allows you to understand how you need to, set up your messaging and reach out to them. Now, now, I also wanted to just understand how does creative design, how does branding start with creative design?
Yeah, it's
Or
basically,
rather, let me put it in a better way. How does design start with creative branding? I think that's a better way to put it.
exactly, that's the main point. That's the right
Yeah.
question as well, basically. Yeah, basically it depends on the branding elements. And branding element includes your brand name, your logo, your branding colors, your and how your logo uh, is gonna define your product or services. Branding elements includes the image of the brand and their promising and the value there and everything. So whenever we talk about the branding elements, so we have to define these things, our logo, the, our business name basically, and what we gonna use our product or services elements or in the design, in the logo design, and how we gonna use those colors in the designs as well. Once we are done with these branding elements, so definitely we have two or three things that everyone has to maintain. One is uh, everyone has to maintain their branding tone in the creative design, right? Branding tone means they have to follow their branding promise, branding key message, the branding tagline in all kind of creatives and promotional activity or the advertising activity or any integrated marketing activities. They have to maintain their brand key promise and tone as well in all the creative designs, right? Definitely creative designs used for the in the promotion and the advertising and the PR and everything in the digital world, right? So one point is have to maintain the key message of the brand. The second is the color palette. They have to maintain, have to play around their brand colors. They use a combination of the branding color in all the creatives, and it should be based on their product and services, right? So like nobody has to use the different that is totally against their brand or services, right? Like if I talk about my brand name is Green Grass Landscaping and my logo color is red, so definitely it's against the branding guidelines and it's totally against destroy the brand image and everything on a first look, right? So that is very
Yes.
important. We have to maintain the key branding, key message, branding colors, branding tagline, and these are the elements. And then once we are defined with that, we use these things in our creative designs. Design should be very simple. Design should be meaningful. Design should have uh, design should making any sense. So definitely it would be very engaging for the audience. It would be very helpful to increase the brand awareness, increase the brand image, and definitely once we have a good creatives on the basis of the branding elements, so it turned down in the sales as well. It increased the revenue as well. Whenever any customer or any visitor engage with the creative design, so definitely they have some points in their mind to take the action. And 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 when we talk about the action, definitely, so we talk about the sales, they convert it into sales, you can say, or buy our product.
Okay. Wow. I'm myself learning quite a lot today when it comes to design. Um,
Yeah.
and this is really great. Now, this is more the exciting part for me when it comes to obviously, um, what branding leads to. And we know branding, like marketing, leads to customers. Now, I understand that SIBA Digital was able to um, get on board 500 customers in 6 months. I'd love to know, how were you able to get 500 customers in 6 months?
You know what? And not just 500, in fact, more than that. We have generated our onboarded more than 500 customers and the 6 months duration. And the reason behind is basically let me tell you, we are a B2B service provider, and we do uh, we do offer the content marketing and the content writing and the designing services. So when it comes to these digital services, there's a lot of potential in all the market, but definitely we are customer base in the UK and the US, most of the customer. So there are many marketplaces where a customer comes and share their needs, share their requirements, and definitely there's a lot of potential. There are a lot of companies are bidding there. Uh, so we work on the marketplace as well, uh, and we already define our branding guidelines. We already define our branding key messages, our promises. So we already differentiate our brands to the competitor. So basically, we are not facing or any challenges when it comes to customer acquisition. So most of the customers are coming through referral, right? And that is a very turning point for us as well as a company or as a brand. It's a very good moment and a good situation for us because we are not honestly we are not spending any kind of paid budget on the promotion and advertising right now, and we are generating, you know, I can't say the numbers, but definitely we are generating a lot of dollars on a monthly basis. We are generating a good amount of sales on just on the basis of the referral amount. So that is a very good amount. That's a good way. So coming back to your question, there are many marketplaces for the design and the content jobs. Their customer comes and share the requirements, and we assist them accordingly. And definitely, and we do have some other programs, and like one of the major and the most important functions we have, I personally follow that we call the customer, and because before pitching any kind of thing, we call the customer and discuss their problems, right? What are the current problems they are facing in their businesses, like what are the problems they are facing in the branding, in the revenue, or any kind of stuff. Like, so definitely, first of all, we listen to them. What are their problems? Note down, and then we come up with the solutions. You know what? When we do this, I personally do this. The customer never bother to share the problems to us, and or maybe with anyone. So they share the problem. We come up with the solutions, and then definitely, once we get the solution, they never bother to pay the amount. So that is a very turning point. That's our strategy to acquire the customer, and referral is one of the most and major key in our success.
So you say you have customers coming from referrals. So there's certain platforms that you use. Are there any other things that you do besides those two major things?
Yeah, we are also doing free marketing. You can say the digital marketing, but we are not spending any kind of budget on the paid marketing that you can say the Google ads and the PPC and the social media paid ads or other kind of any banner ad or any kind of ad. So we are not spending paid amount on the digital side, but we are using the free medium.
So what is a free medium? What would you say?
Free medium. Yeah, free medium. You can say the social media. When it comes to social media, there are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. These are the top most commonly used and the business platforms. There are millions of customers sharing their requirements, and there are a lot of opportunities. So it's an open ground for everyone. Whoever wants to work, whoever wants to grow, so they come on the social in these free platforms and got the opportunity. And other than this, there are many other platforms as well. Just you can say the Medium.com, the Quora.com, the Reddit.com. They are Q&A websites. So you know what? You go there and you can find out a lot of problems that people are facing in their businesses, and you can share or you can come up with the solutions or you can guide them accordingly. Do not
Yes.
I request, do not pitch them any kind of service or product, but you have to assist them, you have to educate them. Once you are done with that, once you are gained the trust or once you are built with the relationship, then definitely they will come back to you.
Yes.
That's the most important key to educate your customer, you guide your customer.
Yeah, I think education is so
Yeah.
important. People want to know how things work and why they work the way they work. So education, I can definitely agree with you, is utmost important. And you know, um, in terms of your whole sales pipeline and the activities there, do you have any kind of special tools that you use that you can share that could help some of the founders of businesses out there in order to manage? Because I can imagine 500 customers in 6 months. You said a bit more than 500. That pipeline must be a huge pipeline. And how do you navigate through to know who's ready and willing? Are there special tools that you could suggest for people to look at?
So right now we are using HubSpot, the CRM, to managing all the customers, to uh, like to make we are using that, and we have split into some of the parts that we use for or define the existing customer, current customer, or how many followers do we have in the pipeline, how many customers are interested or they are coming come back to after 3 or 2 months or whatever. So we use the HubSpot, and we define and we put all the customers there, and our sales team are using the same software for so long. So I mean, I would suggest to use the HubSpot, and they do have a free plan, they have a paid plan as well. But right now we are using the paid. Definitely, we have a lot of customer. We have to manage them on a regular basis. They have and update their status on the behalf of their payments and everything and work progress. So we are using the paid version. But definitely, uh, if there is anyone who are just in the beginning phase and they have few customers, so they definitely should go for the free version, and HubSpot is doing very well. But besides this, we are also working on our CRM as well. So we are building our own platform or CRM. So definitely, so our products are so that nobody can would have any kind of right to assist or take things out from there. But definitely, once we build our platform, then we will shift to that. Definitely.
Fantastic, fantastic,
Yeah.
super, super awesome. And now, in terms of your journey at SIBA and what you've seen, the kind of clients you've worked with, I would love to understand is what can SMEs and startups do better?
Basically, I'm associated with SIBA Digitals from the last 4 years, or you can say the 5 years from 2017. So I have started my journey here as a, you can say, the business developer on the marketing side. But right now, after 4 or 5 years, I'm basically taking care of all the sales operation and the marketing operations and all the production as well. So I'm taking care of all the operations, you can say, in short. So when it comes to, you can say, in the startup or the guideline, definitely we have designed some strategies like how the startup can go or kickstart their journey to the execution and to the next level where we generating revenue. All right. So we do have some steps, we do have some programs, and we do have strategies that already been successful. So we implemented those strategies and plans with our customer, and they are generating millions, you can say, in a year, and millions of dollars in their industry. Like I said, as you mentioned earlier, we mostly work in the healthcare industry, in the gaming industry, and the technology industry. So, but let me when we explain or split into most like industry. So gaming is one of them. I really love it because when it comes to games, there are a lot of things in the gaming, the character animation, character design, NFT design, or pixel art, a lot of things. So there's an era of animation and the character things, or right now NFT is on the peak. So definitely one of my customer, as you mentioned earlier, started generating $300,000 in this 3 months, and
And,
they
and,
have a business. And they have a
and
business basically. Yeah, please go ahead.
yes, so I was just wondering on the SME side and clients like this, what can they do better specifically? Are there things where it comes to design they can use better tools, or they need to do consultations? What can they do better from your perspective?
From my perspective, let me tell you, there is a misconception in the market, right? Let me tell you what exactly it is. So product is one thing, brand is one thing, right? Uh, Normally, people are generating or creating some kind of product or services, and they feel like we are a brand. No, we have whenever someone introduce any kind of product or service in the market, so they have to build the customer trust, and they have to maintain, or you can say build the process from or increase, or you can say improve the customer side. You can say once you are done with the customer side, then your brand will improve and convert into your product will improve and convert into brand. So first you have to clear about it. There is a difference between the product and the brand. Once you have a good product, you have to maintain, you have to deliver what you are promising, what you have brand pre-message, what problems you are going to solve to your customer, and definitely it will become a brand. So my concern is for the SMEs, you have to be very clear about your branding guidelines, about your, you can say, the brand guideline. You have to, you have uh, you know about your key point, you know about your brand promise, you know about your brand personality, what your key differentiator from the competitors, uh, what what your buyer persona, what your buyer looks like, what your buyer thinks, what their needs, what their wants, and stuff like that. Once you have clear with all of these questions, so definitely your product or service will become a brand. Not immediately, but definitely it will take time to build a brand equity. And and I'm sure one more thing I want to tell you: once you have a good brand equity, or once you have a good brand goodwill, so you don't need to spend a lot of money on the promotion or the advertising side. Your customer will come to you directly. You will not go to the
Fantastic.
customer. Yeah, you will not
That's,
go to the customer.
that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, because the cost to get a customer sometimes, it just
because
increases over time.
in the early stage startup, and most of the startups are spending a lot of money on the marketing and the advertising for the customer acquisition. I'm
Yes,
not saying that is wrong. That is totally fine. But if you positioning your brand in any kind of with any kind of differentiator, so definitely it will help you a lot. It will help you to save your money. It will or definitely it will increase the customer acquisition and your brand equity as well. So that is the key point from my side, and I know there's a lot of things to speak, but I would love to assist you, because by passion I love to educate or assist the people, but by profession I'm a marketer. So there's a combination between like a, you can say, the teacher or a guide or a consultant or a marketer. So the good, good combination.
fantastic. And another, I mean, if we're looking at challenges, one of the things I'd like to get into is also, what are
Challenges
the
we are facing, or
but what I just meant, what are the biggest mistakes that you see in the industry? I mean, what I'm trying to say basically is that,
yeah,
right now we're just discussing about mistakes and things can do things SMEs and startups can do better. And what I'd like to also explore is what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see that startups and SMEs do that our listeners today can learn from, because this is all about learning.
Exactly.
We want to understand better as how right from the beginning, how can you position yourself as a startup, a new business, or an existing business? How can you position yourselves better to acquire customers, or just better to move your business forward? Now, some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen in um, from businesses, what would those mistakes be that people can avoid?
Well, basically, there are a few common mistakes that I saw in the past or right now as well. Basically, people are coming with the same product or the same services in the market that already exists, and that is a very competitive market as well. So they are coming with the same solution of same services, but they don't differentiate themselves with the competitor. So they don't have any kind of differentiator with their competitor. So definitely there are, whenever you come in the existing market, so there's a lot of uh, you can say competition and for the for the newcomers. So you have
And
to be
and how would you suggest if a company, whether it's a new company or existing company, how would you suggest if they are bringing an existing or have an existing solution where it's highly competitive, lots of different competitors, is how can they position themselves in a better way?
I would suggest they have to be they have to research about their consumer about the customer and how and about their customer journeys as well, like how the uh, customer looks like, and what they want and what are their needs. All right, so these are the basic things they have to identify about their customer. They have to identify it, and once we are done with that, then they have to come up with some more improvement, or more, you can say, more innovation. I'm not saying that the startup cannot come in the existing market, but they can come, but with some innovation in the existing market, on the in some or in the existing product. Like example, let me tell you the toothbrush. Like toothbrush is a common product, and we all are using in the world. But the when it comes to innovation, there's a, you can say, the smart toothbrush. There's the innovation. That's the main
Mm.
innovation. Uh, the company who invent the smart toothbrush, they uh, they already launched the same product in the existing market, but with new features, and they relate the technology to the existing product for the existing customer and in the same market. So that's how things work. You have to come up with new features, with new innovation. So that's the main thing I would suggest
Fantastic. I
to make,
think
yeah, to make better positioning in the market.
fantastic. I think that's a really great suggestion. Is that if you are coming up with an existing
Yeah,
solution, um, and you're passionate about it, there's no problem. You just have to position yourself well, understand who your customer base is, and make sure that you are speaking to them. I think that's a valuable message that businesses can learn from the branding experts. So, Taha, we've definitely spent quite a bit of time, and you've shared a whole lot of um, really fundamental and essential information. I just want to first and foremost thank you for that. And then, secondly, I just want to understand if people are looking to get a hold of you, how can people reach you? Where can people find you?
yeah, definitely. I would love to assist or help the people regarding any kind of stuff like growth marketing and growth hacking and the branding things as well. So people can follow me on the LinkedIn. People can DM me, or they can come to my business website as well. That would be very interesting. And for the webinar, I mean, it's been an honor for me as well to have a detailed discussion with you and with the audience that we have that gonna listen to it. So it is great, and I'm sure it's gonna help uh, a lot to our audience to know more about the branding and how design works, how branding works, how they can better positioning in the market. So it helps a lot, definitely. And we are here to guide any guide you and assist you guys through all the platforms, through all the mediums. So thank you so much. I mean, it's quite interesting for me as well.
Fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. It was such a pleasure to have you today. And thank you so much for everyone listening in. Today's show was powered to you by Futech.io. And
Yep.
that's where we take the guesswork out of decision making by matching service providers such as Taha to service seekers in an easy way. And it's about making business easy, helping you to find customers that are ready and willing to do business. And most essentially is helping companies in doing business in Africa. Thank you so much to everyone. Take care. We'll chat soon.
Yeah. Well, one more thing I want to say, like everyone to sign up, go and sign up at Futech.io. That is a very good B2B matchmaking platform to all of you for all the niches. I mean, we have launched the platform, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
yeah, that is yeah, definitely. So
Fantastic.
go there, sign up, and launch your businesses and services there. So I'm sure you will have or you will get a lot of customers for their businesses as well. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time, Angel. Thanks, man.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, my
Fantastic.
friend. Take care.